The concept of traditional masculinity, as it's commonly understood, is a relatively recent social construct, despite its enduring presence in many cultures. It's not a timeless, immutable essence inherent to men, but rather a set of beliefs and behaviors that have evolved over time, shaped by specific historical, social, and economic forces. Understanding its origins is crucial to dismantling its harmful aspects and forging a more equitable and healthy definition of masculinity for the 21st century. One of the key foundations of traditional masculinity is the emphasis on stoicism and emotional repression. For generations, men have been socialized to believe that expressing emotions like sadness, fear, or vulnerability is a sign of weakness. This expectation stems from historical roles that prioritized physical strength, dominance, and self-reliance. In agrarian societies, and subsequently in industrial ones, men were often the primary breadwinners and protectors of their families. Emotional vulnerability was seen as a threat to their ability to fulfill these roles effectively. A man who showed weakness was perceived as incapable of providing for his family or defending them from harm. This societal pressure has deeply ingrained itself in the male psyche, making it difficult for many men to access and express their emotions healthily. This societal pressure manifests in various ways throughout a man's life. In childhood, boys are often discouraged from crying or expressing sadness, instead being told to man up or be tough. This can lead to a suppression of emotions that can manifest later in life as anxiety, depression, substance abuse, or other mental health issues. The consequences of this emotional repression are significant and far-reaching. Studies consistently demonstrate a link between emotional suppression and increased rates of suicide, cardiovascular disease, and other health problems among men. The inability to process and communicate emotions effectively can lead to strained relationships, impacting both personal and professional life. The workplace often reinforces these harmful norms. The strong and silent type is still often favored, particularly in leadership roles. Men who express vulnerability or seek help for emotional distress may be perceived as incompetent or weak, hindering their career advancement. This creates a paradoxical situation where men are expected to shoulder immense pressure and responsibility, yet face social and professional penalties for expressing the emotional toll it takes. The relentless pursuit of success, often defined by material wealth and professional achievement, further contributes to emotional suppression. The constant pressure to maintain a facade of strength and control leaves little room for self-reflection, vulnerability, and seeking support. The impact of this suppression extends beyond the individual, affecting relationships with partners, children, and friends. The inability to effectively communicate emotions can lead to misunderstandings, conflict, and a lack of intimacy in relationships. Men may struggle to form deep, meaningful connections, resorting to avoidance or unhealthy coping mechanisms to manage their emotions. This emotional distance can create significant challenges in family life, impacting parenting styles and hindering the development of close, supportive relationships with children. The historical context of traditional masculinity is also deeply entwined with social hierarchies and power structures. The ideal of the stoic, emotionally repressed man has been used to justify various forms of oppression and inequality. Throughout history, men have been used and positioned to uphold and enforce patriarchal systems, often at the expense of their own well-being and the well-being of others. This historical link between masculinity and power dynamics further complicates efforts to redefine what it means to be a man today. Deconstructing traditional masculinity involves a critical examination of these historical and societal forces that shaped its development. It necessitates a deep understanding of how these outdated norms continue to influence men's lives, perpetuating cycles of emotional repression, unhealthy relationships, and compromised well-being. This process is not about abandoning masculinity entirely, but rather about reclaiming it from its harmful stereotypes and creating a new, more inclusive definition that embraces emotional intelligence, vulnerability, and healthy relationships. It involves challenging societal expectations, promoting open conversations about men's mental health, and dismantling the stigma surrounding help-seeking behavior. Several research studies have highlighted the negative consequences of adhering strictly to traditional masculine ideals. Studies on men's mental health consistently show higher rates of suicide and substance abuse among men compared to women. This disparity is often attributed to the societal pressure on men to suppress emotions and avoid seeking help. Research in social psychology also demonstrates the detrimental effects of emotional suppression on cardiovascular health and overall well-being. Men who struggle to express their emotions are more likely to experience stress-related illnesses, including heart disease and high blood pressure. Moreover, the impact of traditional masculinity on relationships has been widely studied. Research indicates that men who adhere strictly to traditional masculine ideals often struggle to form healthy, intimate relationships. Their inability to communicate effectively and express vulnerability can create distance and conflict within their relationships, impacting both the quality of their partnerships and their family dynamics. Studies have explored the effects on children raised in families where fathers maintain rigidly traditional views of masculinity, often observing diminished emotional connection and difficulties in forming healthy relationships. Furthermore, economic disparities and workplace pressures are also inextricably linked to traditional masculinity. The expectation that men should be the sole providers for their families often creates immense pressure, leading to burnout and strained relationships. The competitive nature of many workplaces further reinforces the pressure to suppress vulnerability and project an image of strength and control, often at the expense of mental and physical well-being. Studies exploring economic stress and its impact on men's mental health reveal significant correlations between financial instability and increased rates of depression, anxiety, and substance abuse. In addition to the academic research, numerous anecdotal accounts from men across various backgrounds highlight the struggles they face navigating the pressures of traditional masculinity. Stories of men grappling with feelings of inadequacy, shame, and isolation due to their inability to meet societal expectations are commonplace. The weight of providing for a family, maintaining a successful career, and projecting an image of strength often leads to a sense of overwhelming pressure, contributing to mental health challenges and strained relationships. This lived experience underscores the urgent need for a reevaluation of the dominant cultural narrative surrounding masculinity. To effectively deconstruct traditional masculinity, it's essential to understand the complex interplay of historical, social, and economic factors that have shaped its development. The challenge is not to simply replace one set of ideals with another, but to create a more nuanced and inclusive understanding of what it means to be a man in the 21st century. This involves promoting open dialogue, challenging harmful stereotypes, and creating spaces where men feel safe to express their emotions and seek support. The ultimate goal is to create a society where men are empowered to live fulfilling and authentic lives, free from the constraints of outdated and harmful ideals. This transition requires a collective effort involving men, women, and society as a whole. The ongoing conversation about masculinity is vital to ensure a more equitable and just future for all. The modern man navigates a landscape significantly different from his predecessors. While the traditional pillars of masculinity, provider, protector, emotionally stoic, remain present in some form, their relevance and interpretation have undergone a profound shift. This transformation presents both considerable challenges and unprecedented opportunities for men in the 21st century. Understanding this duality is crucial to fostering healthier, more fulfilling lives for men, and by extension, for society as a whole. One of the most significant pressures facing modern men is the intensified competition in the workplace. The globalized economy, characterized by automation, outsourcing, and a relentless pursuit of efficiency, has created a hyper-competitive environment where job security is often precarious, and the pressure to succeed is immense. This pressure is not merely about financial stability. It is deeply intertwined with the traditional masculine ideal of being the primary provider. The inability to meet this expectation can lead to feelings of inadequacy, shame, and a sense of failure, particularly impacting men's self-esteem and mental health. The constant need to prove oneself, to demonstrate competence and success, can lead to burnout, exhaustion, and strained relationships. The long hours, demanding workloads, and pervasive culture of overwork often leave little time for personal life, family, and self-care, exacerbating the already challenging work-life balance. This pressure is further amplified by the changing nature of work itself. The rise of the gig economy and the prevalence of remote work have blurred the lines between professional and personal life, often resulting in a constant state of being on. The expectation of constant availability and responsiveness, even outside of traditional working hours, contributes to stress and anxiety. This blurring of boundaries makes it difficult for men to establish clear boundaries between work and personal life, leading to feelings of being overwhelmed and perpetually on edge. The lack of clear separation between professional and personal responsibilities can negatively impact relationships with partners and children, contributing to feelings of guilt and inadequacy. The pressure to succeed professionally often comes at the expense of fulfilling other crucial roles, such as fatherhood or maintaining a healthy personal life. Beyond the workplace, the evolving dynamics of modern relationships also present unique challenges for men. The traditional model of a patriarchal family structure, with clearly defined gender roles, is rapidly dissolving. Modern relationships are increasingly characterized by shared responsibilities, a greater emphasis on emotional intimacy, and a more equitable distribution of household tasks and childcare. While this shift towards egalitarianism is largely positive, it also requires men to adapt and embrace new roles and responsibilities that may challenge their preconceived notions of masculinity. The expectation of emotional availability and active participation in household chores and childcare can be a significant departure from traditional masculine ideals, leading to feelings of discomfort, insecurity, and Furthermore, the rising awareness of men's mental health has both positive and negative aspects. On the positive side, the increased societal focus on mental health has reduced the stigma associated with seeking help, creating more opportunities for men to access support and address their emotional challenges. However, this increased awareness can also create additional pressure on men who feel compelled to conform to a seemingly unattainable ideal of emotional perfection. The constant societal messages about mental wellness, while intending to help, can inadvertently add to the burden men already feel, particularly if they struggle to meet the standards portrayed in media or within their social circles. The pressure to be emotionally resilient, expressive, and self-aware can exacerbate feelings of inadequacy among those who struggle to meet these expectations. The changing landscape of masculinity presents opportunities for growth and self-discovery. The shift towards more equitable relationships allows men to experience deeper levels of intimacy and connection with their partners and children. The emphasis on emotional intelligence and vulnerability encourages men to develop stronger self-awareness and more authentic relationships. By embracing these changes, men can build more fulfilling lives and contribute positively to their families and communities. The ability to express emotions openly and honestly allows for more authentic connections, fostering stronger bonds and reducing the likelihood of misunderstandings and conflict. The ability to share responsibilities in household tasks and childcare also strengthens relationships and fosters a sense of partnership and equality. The key to navigating these challenges and capitalizing on these opportunities lies in embracing a redefined concept of masculinity. This means acknowledging and addressing the harmful aspects of traditional masculinity, while retaining its positive qualities, such as strength, resilience, and responsibility. This involves challenging societal expectations and creating spaces where men feel comfortable expressing their emotions, seeking help when needed, and openly engaging in conversations about mental health. It requires a willingness to adapt, learn, and grow, recognizing that the modern man is a work in progress, constantly evolving and adapting to a changing world. It also means fostering a supportive environment where men feel comfortable discussing personal challenges without the fear of judgment or stigmatization. This redefined masculinity necessitates a greater emphasis on emotional intelligence and self-awareness. It involves cultivating the ability to manage emotions effectively, empathize with others, and build healthy relationships based on trust, respect, and mutual support. It is about understanding one's own strengths and weaknesses, seeking help when needed, and embracing vulnerability as a sign of strength, not weakness. This includes fostering open communication with partners, children, and friends, creating a space for emotional intimacy and mutual understanding. This is not about abandoning traditionally masculine qualities, but rather integrating them with emotional intelligence and self-awareness to create a more holistic and fulfilling sense of self. The modern man also needs to reevaluate his definition of success. Moving beyond the traditional markers of wealth and professional achievement requires a broader understanding of purpose and fulfillment. This involves identifying personal values, setting meaningful goals, and pursuing activities that provide a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. This can include prioritizing personal relationships, engaging in hobbies, pursuing creative endeavors, or contributing to the community. The redefined sense of success encompasses a variety of personal and professional achievements, recognizing that fulfillment stems from a multitude of sources, not just professional attainment. The path toward a healthier and more fulfilling masculinity is not without its obstacles. Challenging deeply ingrained societal norms and individual beliefs requires effort, self-reflection, and a willingness to confront discomfort. However, the potential rewards, stronger relationships, improved mental health, and a more authentic sense of self are well worth the effort. This journey necessitates a collective effort involving men, women, and society as a whole. By challenging harmful stereotypes, promoting open dialogue, and creating supportive environments, we can help men navigate the challenges of the modern world and embrace the opportunities for personal growth and fulfillment. The ultimate goal is to create a society where all men can thrive, living authentic lives defined by their own values and aspirations, not by outdated and restrictive societal expectations. The evolution of masculinity is an ongoing process, requiring constant adaptation, self-reflection, and a commitment to creating a more equitable and just society for all. The relentless pursuit of wealth, power, and status, long considered the cornerstones of male success, is increasingly being challenged in the 21st century. While these traditional markers of achievement remain relevant for some, they fail to capture the multifaceted nature of a fulfilling life for men in a rapidly evolving world. The pressure to conform to this outdated paradigm can be profoundly detrimental to mental health, relationships, and overall well-being. A critical reevaluation of what constitutes success is therefore crucial for men to thrive in the modern era. The narrow definition of success, often imposed by societal expectations and perpetuated through media portrayals, fosters a competitive and often isolating environment, leaving many men feeling inadequate and unfulfilled, regardless of their professional achievements. This outdated notion of success often leaves little room for personal growth, emotional well-being, or meaningful relationships. It prioritizes external validation over internal fulfillment, leading to a constant striving for more, often at the expense of personal well-being. The relentless pursuit of material possessions and professional advancement can lead to burnout, strained relationships, and a profound sense of emptiness, even for those who outwardly appear to have achieved significant success. This is particularly true in a culture that often equates masculinity with stoicism, suppressing emotions and prioritizing external achievements over internal harmony. This disconnect between outward achievement and inner peace fuels a pervasive sense of dissatisfaction among many men, a silent crisis often masked by societal expectations. The redefinition of success must embrace a more holistic perspective, recognizing that true fulfillment stems from a confluence of factors. Emotional intelligence, strong relationships, and personal well-being must be elevated to the same level of importance as professional accomplishments. This shift requires a fundamental change in mindset, encouraging men to prioritize their mental and emotional health, fostering meaningful connections with loved ones, and engaging in activities that bring them personal satisfaction. This broader definition of success doesn't negate the importance of professional achievement, but contextualizes it within a larger framework of personal fulfillment and societal contribution. It's about recognizing that a balanced and meaningful life encompasses a far wider spectrum of accomplishments and experiences than simply climbing the corporate ladder. Several examples illustrate this shift towards a redefined understanding of success. Consider the rise of social entrepreneurship, where individuals dedicate their time and skills to addressing social and environmental issues. These men often forego the traditional high-paying corporate jobs, choosing instead to pursue ventures that align with their values and make a tangible difference in the world. Their success is not measured solely by financial gains, but by the positive impact they have on their communities and the environment. This model showcases a shift from a purely individualistic pursuit of success to a more socially conscious approach. Their achievements are far-reaching, contributing not only to societal improvement, but also fostering a deeper sense of personal purpose and fulfillment. These examples challenge the traditional notion that success is solely defined by monetary gains and hierarchical status. Similarly, men who prioritize family and personal relationships over career advancement frequently demonstrate a different type of success. These individuals often make conscious choices to reduce their work hours, dedicate more time to their children and partners, and nurture strong family bonds. Their success is evident in the strong relationships they cultivate, the emotional support they provide, and the well-being of their families. These choices, while often perceived as unconventional in the traditional context of masculine achievement, exemplify a growing recognition that fulfilling personal relationships are equally, if not more, valuable than professional accomplishments. The long-term satisfaction derived from strong family bonds often surpasses the transient gratification associated with material wealth. Furthermore, the increasing acceptance of men seeking help for their mental health signifies a significant shift in the perception of masculinity. The willingness to address emotional challenges and seek support is a powerful indicator of self-awareness and strength, qualities often associated with success. In fact, prioritizing mental well-being is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to a man's commitment to his overall well-being and self-growth. This proactive approach to mental health contributes to a more balanced and sustainable life, impacting not only their personal lives, but also their relationships and professional contributions. By embracing vulnerability and seeking support, men are demonstrating a mature and holistic understanding of success. The concept of purpose-driven success is also gaining traction. This perspective emphasizes finding meaning and fulfillment through activities that align with personal values and contribute to a larger purpose. This can involve volunteering, mentoring, engaging in creative pursuits, or working for a cause that resonates deeply with an individual. Success in this context is defined by the positive impact made on others and the personal satisfaction derived from pursuing a meaningful purpose. This stands in contrast to the often isolating nature of the purely materialistic pursuit of success. The sense of community and contribution associated with purpose-driven endeavors fosters a greater sense of well-being and social connection, replacing the potential isolation of a solely career-focused life. Case studies of men who have successfully navigated this shift further illustrate the evolving definition of success. For instance, a former high-powered executive who left his demanding corporate job to become a stay-at-home father, prioritizing his family's well-being over professional advancement, provides a powerful example of a man who redefined his own success. His dedication to his children and partner, while unconventional by traditional standards, demonstrates a significant contribution to family well-being and a deep sense of personal fulfillment. His redefined success is not measured by his income or professional status, but by the richness of his family life and his personal commitment. Similarly, a man who overcame personal adversity, such as addiction or mental health struggles, and subsequently dedicated his life to helping others facing similar challenges, presents a compelling narrative of success. His success lies not in the absence of hardship, but in his resilience, his capacity for empathy, and his commitment to supporting others. His journey underscores the resilience and strength inherent in overcoming personal struggles and using those experiences to help others. This demonstrates a form of success that transcends material wealth and professional accolades, instead focusing on personal growth and social contribution. These diverse examples demonstrate that the 21st century understanding of male success is far more nuanced and multifaceted. It encompasses a holistic approach, integrating professional achievements with emotional well-being, strong relationships, and a sense of purpose. This redefined success is less about the accumulation of external validation and more about cultivating internal fulfillment and making meaningful contributions to society. It is about aligning one's actions with one's values, nurturing relationships, and embracing personal growth. The journey toward this redefined success involves challenging ingrained societal expectations, confronting personal limitations, and embracing a broader definition of masculinity that values emotional intelligence and personal fulfillment. The ultimate measure of success, therefore, is not the attainment of material wealth or professional power, but the creation of a life rich in meaning, purpose, and genuine connection. This shift requires a fundamental reevaluation of what constitutes a truly successful and fulfilling life, a challenge that ultimately benefits not only men but society as a whole. Embracing vulnerability might seem counterintuitive in a culture that often equates masculinity with stoicism and emotional repression. However, the ability to acknowledge and express emotions is not a sign of weakness, but a hallmark of emotional intelligence, a crucial component of a healthy and fulfilling life for men in the 21st century. This capacity for emotional vulnerability allows for deeper connections with others, fosters self-awareness, and facilitates healthier coping mechanisms during challenging times. Suppressing emotions, on the other hand, can lead to a buildup of stress, anxiety, and depression, ultimately hindering both personal and professional well-being. The development of emotional intelligence involves a multifaceted approach, encompassing self-awareness, self-regulation, social awareness, and relationship management. Self-awareness involves recognizing one's own emotions, understanding their impact, and identifying triggers that lead to emotional responses. This crucial first step requires introspection and honest self-reflection, skills often underdeveloped in traditional masculine socialization. Techniques like journaling, mindfulness practices, and seeking feedback from trusted individuals can significantly enhance self-awareness. Regularly taking time for introspection, away from the demands of daily life, can be invaluable in identifying emotional patterns and triggers. Keeping a journal, even briefly each day, can help track emotions and their context, providing valuable insights into personal, emotional landscapes. Self-regulation, the ability to manage one's emotional responses, is equally important. This doesn't imply suppressing emotions entirely, but rather responding to them in a healthy and constructive way. Strategies like deep breathing exercises, mindfulness meditation, and cognitive reframing can assist in managing intense emotional states. Learning to identify and challenge negative thought patterns is crucial for self-regulation. For example, replacing catastrophic thinking, "This is a disaster," with more balanced and realistic assessments, "This is challenging, but I can manage it," can significantly improve emotional control. Developing healthy coping mechanisms, such as physical exercise, spending time in nature, or engaging in hobbies, can help regulate emotions in a proactive way. Social awareness, the ability to understand and empathize with the emotions of others, is another cornerstone of emotional intelligence. This involves actively listening, observing nonverbal cues, and considering different perspectives. Active listening, which goes beyond simply hearing words to truly understanding the speaker's emotions and intentions, is crucial for building strong relationships. Practicing empathy, placing oneself in another's shoes to understand their feelings, strengthens social connections and fosters understanding. Active listening and empathy are essential skills for effective communication and conflict resolution, crucial for building and maintaining healthy relationships. Taking courses on communication skills or participating in workshops focusing on emotional intelligence can significantly enhance these abilities. Relationship management, the ability to build and maintain positive relationships, relies heavily on the previous three components. Effective communication, conflict resolution, and emotional support are key elements of strong relationships. Clear and assertive communication, expressing needs and boundaries respectfully, is essential. Learning effective conflict resolution techniques, such as focusing on issues rather than personalities and practicing active listening, helps navigate disagreements constructively. Providing emotional support, offering empathy and understanding during difficult times, strengthens bonds and fosters trust. Practicing empathy and understanding diverse perspectives are important aspects of building and maintaining healthy relationships. This requires a willingness to engage in difficult conversations and to listen without judgment. Seeking professional support in couples or family therapy can be beneficial, especially during challenging relational periods. Seeking help when needed is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength and self-awareness. Recognizing limitations and seeking professional support, whether for mental health concerns or relational difficulties, is a courageous and proactive step towards personal growth. Men often face societal pressures to suppress emotions and avoid seeking help, leading to a significant underutilization of mental health services. Overcoming this societal stigma requires a shift in cultural norms and a wider acceptance of vulnerability. This involves openly discussing mental health within communities, encouraging men to seek help without shame or judgment, and promoting early intervention for emotional distress. This destigmatization can be achieved through educational campaigns, community support groups, and public awareness initiatives. Increased availability of accessible and affordable mental health services is also crucial. The creation of a supportive and non-judgmental environment is vital for men's emotional growth. This can be fostered through men's support groups, peer-to-peer mentorship programs, and therapeutic settings. These environments offer safe spaces for men to share their experiences, challenges, and vulnerabilities without fear of judgment or ridicule. Support groups provide opportunities for connection, shared learning, and mutual support. Mentorship programs offer guidance and support from experienced individuals, helping men navigate challenges and develop emotional intelligence. Therapeutic settings provide personalized support and guidance from mental health professionals, tailored to individual needs and challenges. Creating these spaces is crucial for promoting emotional well-being and fostering a culture of emotional literacy. Furthermore, embracing vulnerability extends beyond individual emotional expression. It also includes seeking support and acknowledging the limitations of one's own capabilities. Acknowledging limitations and seeking help from others is not a weakness, but a sign of strength and self-awareness. This is particularly crucial in workplaces, where the expectation to constantly perform and be self-reliant can be overwhelming. Embracing vulnerability in professional settings enables men to seek mentorship, collaboration, and feedback, leading to enhanced performance and collaboration. It also fosters a more supportive and inclusive workplace environment. In conclusion, the development of emotional intelligence and the embrace of vulnerability are not simply desirable qualities, but essential components of a healthy and fulfilling life for men in the modern era. By cultivating self-awareness, self-regulation, social awareness, and relationship management skills, men can navigate the complexities of life with greater resilience and emotional well-being. This requires a concerted effort to challenge traditional notions of masculinity, foster supportive environments, and destigmatize help-seeking behaviors. The journey towards greater emotional intelligence is ongoing and requires continuous self-reflection, learning, and support. However, the rewards of this journey, stronger relationships, improved mental health, and a deeper sense of self are immeasurable. The modern man is not defined by stoicism and emotional repression, but by his capacity for empathy, resilience, and emotional intelligence. The previous sections explored the internal landscape of masculinity, focusing on individual emotional intelligence and vulnerability. However, well-being is not solely an individual endeavor. It thrives within a supportive network. The strength of a man's social support system significantly impacts his mental and physical health, resilience, and overall quality of life. This crucial aspect of modern masculinity, often overlooked in traditional views of self-reliance, requires deliberate cultivation and nurturing. The absence of robust social connections, conversely, increases the risk of various negative outcomes, highlighting the critical role of community in a man's journey towards well-being. Mentorship plays a vital role in shaping a man's life trajectory. A mentor, ideally an older, wiser man who has navigated similar challenges, provides guidance, support, and a valuable role model. This relationship transcends mere advice. It offers a safe space for vulnerability, allowing the mentee to openly discuss concerns and seek direction without fear of judgment. The benefits extend beyond professional development. A mentor can provide emotional support, helping the mentee navigate personal crises and build resilience. Finding a mentor often involves actively seeking out individuals who possess the qualities one admires and respects. This could involve joining professional organizations, attending community events, or simply initiating conversations with individuals whose experiences resonate. The importance of strong friendships cannot be overstated. These relationships provide a sense of belonging, camaraderie, and mutual support, crucial elements for combating feelings of isolation and loneliness. Men often struggle to express emotions openly within traditional masculine norms. Friendships provide a space where vulnerability is accepted and encouraged. Shared experiences, whether through hobbies, sports, or simply shared laughter, forge strong bonds that withstand the challenges of life. Nurturing friendships requires active effort, consistent communication, shared activities, and a commitment to mutual support are essential. Making time for friends amidst busy schedules is a testament to the value placed on these relationships. Actively participating in social activities and proactively seeking out social interaction are key to cultivating and maintaining family relationships, particularly those with fathers, brothers, and sons, significantly impact a man's development and well-being. Positive familial relationships offer unconditional love, support, and a sense of belonging. A supportive father figure provides a crucial role model, teaching valuable life lessons and fostering emotional intelligence. Brothers often provide a unique form of companionship, understanding, and mutual support, creating a bond of shared history and experience. For fathers, the role extends to nurturing emotional intelligence in their sons, fostering healthy communication, and challenging traditional norms of masculinity. These familial relationships provide a foundation of support that can buffer against life's stresses and challenges. Open communication, mutual respect, and active engagement are vital to maintain strong and healthy familial connections. Seeking family therapy or engaging in family-oriented activities can help strengthen bonds and resolve conflicts. Conversely, the absence of these crucial social supports significantly increases vulnerability to mental and physical health issues. Social isolation, characterized by a lack of meaningful connections and feelings of loneliness, is strongly correlated with increased risk of depression, anxiety, substance abuse, and even cardiovascular disease. The isolation can exacerbate existing mental health conditions and hinder recovery. Men are particularly susceptible to social isolation due to societal pressures to maintain a stoic and independent facade. This reluctance to seek help and support can have devastating consequences. Identifying and combating social isolation requires proactive strategies, including joining social groups, engaging in community activities, and seeking professional help when needed. The creation of male-specific support groups and community initiatives is crucial for addressing this issue. These groups offer safe spaces for men to connect with others who understand their unique challenges, fostering a sense of belonging and reducing feelings of isolation. They provide platforms for open and honest discussions, allowing men to share experiences, learn from others, and gain valuable coping strategies. The success of these initiatives relies on creating an environment of trust, respect, and non-judgment. These groups often utilize structured activities such as group discussions, workshops, and recreational activities to foster connection and build relationships. The benefits of these groups extend beyond individual support. They contribute to a broader cultural shift, promoting a more open and accepting attitude towards men's emotional well-being. Examples of successful male support groups and community initiatives abound. Many organizations focus on specific demographics, such as veterans, men facing divorce, or those struggling with addiction. These tailored approaches address the unique needs and challenges within specific groups, creating a highly effective support system. Others focus on broader aspects of men's well-being, offering workshops on emotional intelligence, healthy relationships, and stress management. The common thread among successful initiatives is the creation of a safe and supportive environment where men feel comfortable being vulnerable, sharing their experiences, and seeking help without fear of judgment. The availability of these groups varies geographically, with some areas having extensive networks and others lacking resources. Advocating for increased funding and accessibility of these crucial services is essential. Beyond formal support groups, community initiatives can foster a sense of connection and belonging. Participating in volunteer work, joining sports teams, or engaging in community projects provides opportunities for social interaction and a sense of purpose. These activities create opportunities for building relationships, fostering camaraderie, and combating isolation. The emphasis should not only be on providing support for men facing challenges, but also on creating a culture that values and promotes healthy social connections for all men. This requires a multifaceted approach, involving public awareness campaigns, educational initiatives, and policy changes that support community-based support systems. In conclusion, the role of social support networks in men's well-being cannot be overstated. Strong friendships, supportive family relationships, and mentoring opportunities are vital for combating isolation, fostering resilience, and promoting overall health. The development and expansion of male support groups and community initiatives are crucial for creating a culture that values men's emotional well-being and provides accessible resources for those who need it. By embracing the power of community, we can move towards a more holistic understanding of masculinity, one that values connection, vulnerability, and the profound importance of social support in a man's journey towards a fulfilling life. The modern ideal of masculinity is not one of isolated strength, but of interconnectedness, resilience, and shared support.